barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'm back in LA, and I just want to say thank you to all the comments, and I just want to answer something because y'all kind of flooded my DM about Roy Jones and the Errol Spence thing, about the Roy Jones interview. I missed the first half of the interview, so I wasn't there when he was talking about Errol Spence. I don't recall that, and if I did, it was probably I didn't know what he was talking about, and I wish I would have had known what was going on in the Errol Spence thing, because y'all asking me, man, y'all were asking me about that interview, so many of y'all, and that just goes to show you that Errol Spence has a real fan base, you know, because y'all motherfuckers was responding immediately about the resume thing, and I had no idea. And ironically enough, I was with Roy at the next stop for about 3 hours. And if I had known that, I didn't rewatch the interview because you transition to next. I haven't watched any of my interviews yet, and I genuinely wish I would have known, because Roy was real accessible. I could have gotten a one-on-one interview as it relates to Roy. I just didn't know. Like when the guy was asking the questions on the way out, I didn't know nothing about it. Like I mean, from your comments I knew about it, but I didn't know like the feel of it. And when he was talking, when Earl responded, and when the gentleman asked the question, I kind of put two and two together. You understand? And so I'll see Roy again soon, and I'll definitely ask him about those questions. And what I also want to say, Errol Spence, his energy when he's doing interviews is like very, very like unnatural as it relates to other fighters. You know, people are really, really guarded. Earl is not really, really guarded. And I think that moniker he has, The Truth, is relevant outside the ring as well as inside the ring, right? And I just think that he's an easy guy to interview. Like, he's really, really interview. And once he gets going, oh man, he's a really easy guy to interview, because his believer, he don't really have like a fluff, and he don't really preface his answer with a protection clause. You know what I mean? He just says what he says, and that's the end of it, man. But he said, I got some other clips where he said some stuff. I'm gonna have to quote him, because there was some other stuff going on that I probably can't put in the video. But I'm going to use his quote, so stay tuned. He said one hell of a quote that I thought that was funny. And I think this fight, oh man, Errol Spence is going to show up and show out for this fight. He is genuinely anxious. His energy, I mean, he was calm in the interview, but just the feel, he's very anxious to get in the ring with Shawn Porter. And I haven't interviewed Shawn, but I know Shawn is probably very anxious to get in the ring too. So I'm genuinely, this is going to be a hell of a fight, man. Like, for real. It's going to be a hell of an event, because it's a culminating of fan bases too. Like, and I know Errol Spence fan base is obviously much, much, much bigger. I'm talking about just the energy and the feel of boxing. You know, it puts one to the side, because this narrative has been going on for 2.5 years. When there's someone going to fight Errol Spence, this is the first American champion that's ever fought Errol Spence. You understand what I'm saying? So I know it's been former world. Has he fought a former world champion? Oh, Lamont Peterson, but not at 47, right? Lamont Peterson ever champion at 147? You guys tell me. But you guys get what I'm saying, like the majors. So I very seldom like, you know who else did this to me too? Devin Haney. Devin Haney, I had a chance to interview him too, and I'm like, I can ask this motherfucker anything, and I don't have to worry about him thinking I'm being offensive. I don't have to worry about him being I'm too aggressive, because you guys know I'm fairly aggressive, and I know I can rub people the wrong way and rile them up and make them angry and make them want to say, fuck you, I'm not answering no more questions from you. You know what I mean? So I got to throw like softball pitches, and then and then see if they can catch an 80-mile-an-hour fastball, then an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, then a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So Devin Haney, Errol Spence, obviously Deontay Wilder. I can ask him anything, and like it's just kind of like that, for real. Like, and I like when I can just ask a person anything and they can just answer anything. And I know I've done. You know who else is like that too? Austin Trout. Austin Trout is like that as well. It's coming to me as I'm doing the interview, so I know I'm going to leave a handful of people out, but you guys know the point I'm actually trying to make. Go listen to that interview he did with that we talked about the Sean Porter fight, and the comments that Sean Porter said and the comments that Kenny Porter said, and how he delivers his response. You know, he wasn't riled up and I want to fuck you up and this and that. They getting paid to fight. Ain't no reason to. I'd rather fight you for lots of millions than fight you for my ego. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm excited. I'm gonna cover this fight wall to wall. You know, little guys love 147. The big guys love the heavyweights. You know what I mean? So, but heavyweight fights is nothing like a heavyweight fight in Vegas. I'm just being real. A big heavyweight fight in Vegas is nothing like it, man. Although I don't want to go to Vegas for a heavyweight, I know I'm talking about things I shouldn't in this video, but I'm just waiting on my Uber. And for those of you waiting on, here's what I do to catch my Uber to save $5 every time I leave the airport. Because I catch about 30 flights a year, right? So 30 times 5 is what? $150. So I'll probably save $150, maybe $200. I catch a shuttle to a hotel, to a, I'm at budget rent-a-car now, you guys can see I'm at budget. And so I don't have to pay the airport fees, because there's an airport fee and an airport tax you got to pay when you get in your Uber. So I do this, and it costs me, from here, it costs me $10. From the airport, it costs me anywhere between $16 and $20 every time. So, but anyways, man, I'm excited for this fight. I was listening to Ticket video earlier. Obviously, Errol, he has this fight as a wash. I think it's going to be a competitive fight. I genuinely think it's going to be a competitive fight. I think Sean has to, Errol has to prepare as though he's fighting for his life, and he's never coming overweight. He's never coming out of shape. The nigga said he didn't even do sit-ups. He didn't even do no strength and conditioning training. And for those, you know, I work out every day and blah, blah, blah. And when you see Errol Spence weigh in, it's unreal. Like, in terms of like how God creates these athletes, you know, like I genuinely believe Errol could have probably been a DB or something at the high Division I level, because I played basketball against him. I genuinely believe he could have been a high Division I athlete. And I also could say the same thing about Sean Porter. Sean Porter, and I know the running jokes with Adrian Broner. How did Sean Porter do that night? Oh, he had 300 rushing yards and, you know, 13 tackles, whatever you say. But for real, Sean could have been a high-level Division I football player too. Just by, if you've seen Sean Porter train, you'll see that he's a dumb athlete. Like, for real, as an athlete, dumb, just ridiculously dumb. So, and that's why I believe it's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm obviously going to try and find a way to make a lot of money on Errol Spence. I believe Errol Spence is the favorite. I believe Errol Spence is the favorite to win this fight. But this fight is going to be good, yo. I think Sean Porter and Kenny Porter are probably coming to the press conferences blazed, ready to rock and roll. It's going to be, as I told you guys, it's going to be a 2-city press tour, I believe, somewhere in there, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have the date, but Earl said it wasn't a date. So I don't know if he was. Earl said that's not the date. So I was working the room trying to get the confirmation on the date, because I want to save as much money as I can on my hotels and my airfare. So, but the announcement should be coming next week, if I'm not mistaken. Next week. But anyways, man. Yeah, man. So I'm genuinely excited for this fight, man. I'm gonna cover this fight. This fight gonna be fun to cover. You know what I mean? So, anywho, man. And you know why I think this fight is gonna be easy? Because I think I know Sean very well. And because I've literally studied Errol Spence, I haven't been to all his fights because Sean Porter's been around much, much longer. But after that conversation I had with Derek James, and remember I was leaning towards Kell Brook, remember that Kell Brook Errol Spence fight? It took me till 2 p.m. that day to do my prediction, and I picked Errol Spence to win that fight. But I had to watch as many fights as I could up until that point, you know what I mean? And I picked Errol Spence to win that fight, and thank God he won that fight, because American boxing is so interesting, you know what I mean? Frederick Hawthorne? Frederick? Yeah, that's me. My Uber's here. So it cost me $10 to catch an Uber home instead of 20. So it's okay, brother. All you gotta do is pop it. Oh, well, we're good then.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna end this video. So Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.